Hey, you might want to close out of your recording.
Oh yeah, drag otherwise. Okay. Um, this one's actually not too bad the way it is. What do I need to do to it though?
Can you write the equation on the right? Because I need to remember that too.
Well, for this particular one, because it's an x squared, is this going to be left and right or up and down?
Left and right. Up and down.
Up and down. You guys are used to having x squared, so that means it's up and down type, like the ones that you guys have been doing since Algebra 2. Okay, so this one would be like an x squared equals 4ay. Right, now there could be some shifting around in there, which will have an h and a k in it. So if that's the case, then it's an x minus h squared minus or equals a 4a times y minus k. All right, so it kind of depends. All right, now that doesn't look exactly like what's happening here. Well, complete the square. So an x squared minus 4x plus 4, which means now on the other side I have a 2y plus 4. All right, this will now factor an x minus 2, so that's an x minus 2 squared equals, what about over here? So I'll have a 2 times a y plus 2. Okay, there's my equation that I really want to be using.
So 2 equals 4a then, right?
2 equals 4a, so what's a? Okay. What's that tell you about your parabola then? It's going to be pretty fat because the focus is so close to the vertex, so to get it wrapped around it, it's going to have to be pretty wide in order for that to happen.
So A just shows us the shape.
A will give you the distance from the vertex to the
Okay, just 1/2.
to the focus. All right, so we have our A now. We still want to sketch a graph of this. No? But sometimes it helps just to get the pieces and parts. Okay, so how about the center there? I'm going to ask you for, not the center, vertex.
2 negative 2.
2, negative 2. Okay. All right, and you guys decided, is this thing opening? All right, we said up and down. Is it up or down? It's going to be up. All right, how far away is my focus? All right, so it's got to be 1/2 up. Because this is positive. Now, so what is the point of my focus? The coordinate.
2 negative 1 or negative 1 and 1.
Right. Okay. And then we know that it's going up. Right. And then the only other thing that I'll ask you for is the directrix.
That's it's not going the other way. Is it x or y equals negative 2.5?
Mm-hmm. Yep, because it's going to be the same distance away as the focus is, only on the other side, and it's a line that goes perpendicular through that transverse axis.
Wait, we don't have to find like the intercepts?
No, I'm not going to ask you for that.
So we just have to sketch a graph and learn how, because that's not the
Right. Just have to sketch a graph.
So what if we had made that really skinny? Would that have been wrong?
No. But you know better.
We could say that it was a really weird scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for the first.
My x-axis was 100. 100 a box.
Except for like the first 4, because then you'd have to move the x way.
Right. I got you.
So if we mess
Put
up,
a little
Bracket.
so if we mess up,
break in your graph.
Get wrong, like it's in the wrong direction, could we say that we like messed with the scale? Still get points.
Every graph.
I don't think so.
Why? Because we didn't mark what the number.
We'll just be like, oh well, actually, we inverse the graph, so we have the right side's negative and the left side's positive.
All right, this one's going the other way. Now they're telling me that my parabola is -2, 0. and my directrix line is x equals 2.
Do that.
Okay, so where does that mean that my vertex is going to be?
You
Okay.
give us graphs on the quiz or whatever.
We know that this one's going to open this way because it's got to wrap around the focus. So, coming up with my equation then,
X squared equals
no,
That's gonna be y squared
3x
equals
squared
4 x is 1/2 again.
okay, because we know that 4a has to be 2 because they have 2 spaces in between there.
That is negative.
Divide both sides by 4, so a is going to be 1/2. So when I
Isn't that a negative too?
correct, the negative goes out in front because it opens left. That was going to be my last thing. So y squared is going to equal 4 times the 1/2 is 2x, and it's going to be a negative 2x because it opens to the left. All right, center. Another one where I want to come up with the equation for it. So I want a graph over here. All right, this time we're saying that our center is at -1, 2.
So
All right,
real-
A is 3, C is 4, and a transverse axis parallel to the x-axis.
Are you gonna do this to us on the quiz?
I
You
could
don't tell
definitely-
what it is, and we have to figure it
Oh,
out.
no,
Because they're gonna be in order, and they're gonna say like.
correct.
Okay, good.
Correct.
Because that was not hard. I mean.
Well-
I don't know. I'd rather just know what it is. So.
We know that the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis, so what's that tell us? Whatever it is.
That's horizontal.
Right, so it's going to be a left-right type. So it's either a long ellipse or it's going to be a left and right hyperbola. We don't know yet. All right, but I do know that since the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis, everything has to run this way. So if my A's are 3's away, and my C, which are my focus, are 4 away, so we know it's got a hyperbola now.
That's not when you find your story.
All right, so we know that it's going to be a fraction minus a fraction equals 1. All right, and then we know that the a squared and the b squared stay where they're supposed to be. So what's going to be down here? 9. And then b squared we don't know yet, but we can find it.
Basically,
So 9 plus b squared equals 16.
Right, so 9 plus b squared equals 16. So b squared is 7.
That's where it
And then the only other thing that I need, all right, since it's a left and right time, is x is going to go up here on the left-hand side, or y's?
It's x because it always goes over. Yeah.
Good. X is because it's a left and right type. If it was up and down, I'd put y's there. All right, so that's going to be an x minus
plus 1.
-1, so plus a 1 squared, and then I'm going to have a y minus my 2 squared. There's my equation. Come back. Okay, and then to finish off the rest of the graph, what else do I need?
And then you're B over.
B over A because it's a left and right type. All right, so my B is going to be square root of 7 over 3. All right, square root of 7 is approximately what? 2 point, it's going to be on the high end because it's getting closer to square root of 9, which is 3. So it's probably going to be 2.7-ish, 2.8-ish. So I just need to go 1, 2, up 2, and almost a 3, and then over 3. Down almost 3, over 3. Down almost 3, back 3. And up almost 3, back 3. So I'm going to get that. There we go. So my hyperbola is going to look something like this. Just like that. All right, and then my last one here. Let's see, we've got vertices at 0, 1 and 6, 1, and an asymptote line of 3y plus 2x equals 6. So what are we looking at?
That's a 9.
9. Right, so what are we looking at?
Hyperbola.
Definitely a hyperbola, because those are the only ones that have asymptote lines. All right, so let's graph the things that they gave me first. So I'm going to have vertices at 0, 1, and I'm going to have another one at 6, 1. Okay, and then they told me that I have an asymptote line at 3y plus 2x equals 9, but that's not how we graph lines. All right, so 3y equals negative 2x plus 9. Divide both sides by 3. And y will be negative 2/3 x plus 3, which means my y-axis, my y-intercept is going to be at 3, and then I'm going to have a slope of down 2 over 3. There's my center.
Oh, that's pretty tricky.
And then you can like inverse it.
You don't even need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can put another one going to like.
Right. Through there. All right, so I've got that much. Let's see, and we know my vertices, so I still need to come up with that equation. We know that it's going to be up or down or left and right. Definitely left and right, so it's going to be x stuff in the top left-hand corner.
So
A squared. Can I get that?
it's 9.
Mhm.
And then it's x minus 3 and then y minus 1.
X minus 3,
X
y
minus 1. Where'd you get the 4 from?
Yes. So it's
Oh yeah, you're right. So do we need to find the?
To finish off the rest of the picture, we would. So if I wanted to find my focus, that's a squared plus b squared equals c
You
squared.
know what it is.
So I would have 9 plus b squared equals c squared.
Actually,
So I have 13 equals c squared. So what is square root of 13 approximately?
3.5.
Probably right around there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be pretty tight into there. Now, if I asked you to actually come up with the coordinates for those, for the foci, what would you have to put?
Negative 1, 6.
Nope, I need more accurate than that.
Oh. So it would be 3 plus or minus the square root of 13.
yeah.
Good. In the center?
There's
We just hadn't written it down yet. Good. Getting better at these? It'll be easier when I'm telling you what they are, but that's kind of using what you know about the 3 things that we've been doing is kind of interesting, at least using the information that I give you to try to figure out what they are when I don't tell you. But on the quiz you want to.
Can we do one of the ellipse since we did hyperbola?
Sure. Did you find one in there that you guys would want to take a look at? And what type do you want? The kind going towards the equation or going toward the pieces? All right.
Complete the squares.
All right. First, I want to reorganize. So 4x squared minus 16x plus 9y squared minus 18y equals 11. All right. What should I do first? Not yet. Okay, so I'm going to get x squared minus 4x and then plus 4 to complete the square, but I'm really adding 16. Plus, if I pull out a 9 here, I'm going to get y squared minus 2y plus what? 1, but I'm really adding 9. So what do I have out there?
36.
36. Okay. So what I've got now is 4 times x minus 2 squared plus 9 times y minus 1 squared equals 36. Divide both sides by 36. So I'm going to get x minus 2 squared over 9 plus y minus 1 squared over 4 equals 1. Okay, so this is definitely going to be an ellipse. What is the center going to be? 2, 1. How about A?
3.
B?
2.
Okay, and then if I want to find my C,
Again,
get a lot of those.
is that normal, like, if you were to go find a paret left, like, an ellipse of something in reality?
It keeps coming up because we keep using numbers that are relatively small so that they fit on my graph. So 2s and 3s are very likely for pieces and parts because it does spread the graph out a lot or a little bit, but not so much that it won't fit on the graph. If I wasn't being nice, we wouldn't have so many of the same numbers. Okay, so
See, in the white it's nice, but in the white it's not because we don't learn from,
you want some weird ones that don't fit on the graph?
No, I don't, because I know you'll do that on the quiz. We'll find it.
All right, here's my equation now. Is this going to be a long ways type or an up and down type?
long ways.
How do you know?
The case underneath, yeah.
Yeah, the big number is underneath the x, so it's got to be left and right. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And my up and down is going to be 2 and 2 because that's my B.
Messed up again.
Oh man, I always skip that line.
You know what you should do, Mr. Morris?
Yeah.
You should give us crazy ones for like homework and like in class, and then for quizzes and tests, do simple ones, and then it'd be like, oh hey, this is easy.
I used to do that in my honors classes, but they complained.
Or they complain, and you say you do great on tests, and you know what you're doing.
Yeah. So now everything kind of looks the same.
That's fun. I like them looking the same too. Because then,
You know what's coming.
well, it's
Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you do that shape thing and the magic pen at the same time?
No. No, one or the other.
Discipline.
All right, pretty good?
Yep.
Okay. Tonight, I think you just have one more review just to make sure we got these down. That's not right.
Oh, that's happy.
Up one, here.
Wrong week. This one. 2 to 36 even.